All right. I got a great guest on. He from going through his social media, the guy likes to talk, so this should be a fun 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Beau Johnson, welcome to the chat.
Armand, thanks for having me again.
So we met each other last year at BoucherCon
This is correct.
for like a second because you were busy running around taking pictures, putting your mustache on and taking pictures with about 1,000 people, which is really funny.
Thanks.
And I was actually following you. It was funny because at one point I was on my phone on Facebook and I'm scrolling, and there you are with S.A. Cosby and all these
Yeah.
people, and I'm liking them, and then you just came walking by, and you're like, "Hey, let's get a picture."
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I remember that. Yeah.
that's the way to do it, right?
Yes. Well, it just happened to be like we had an anthology, Bishop Rider Lives came out. So I got to meet some of the authors that sent in stories. So I brought them all mustaches and no pressure or anything, but if they wanted to put them on, they could.
Right.
And we made some memories anyways.
Very, very cool. Yeah. So you got a lot of stuff go. So let's dive into your series right now. Give everybody the elevator pitch.
Well, I grew up on the Death Wish, Charles Bronson Death Wish movies, and then I found The Punisher, and that was the genesis of Bishop Rider.
Right.
And that's about it. Big influences there, and I throw in some Jack Reacher, Mister In Between. Some people say the Saw movies, and yeah, it's all a big blender. And I just have, and then I decide to tell my story out of sequence, and then I kill my main character in my third book, but he's the main character for the next two books, and then I have his partner take over for the next four books.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very convoluted, but it works because it's nice too, because everybody, like Bishop Rider is my main guy, but his partner Jeremiah Abram, now that I'm telling the story through his eyes, I can go back and sort of bring Bishop Rider back to life by telling the stories through his eyes, but live in a post Rider world. So it works
Very
out.
cool.
Yeah.
So how much of you is in that character?
Well, I think I'm in there. Yeah, I have to be, right. I'm writing them, but I would never do the things Bishop Rider does, because I love my family. Yeah, I've always said that before. But you think these things people get away with, they shouldn't get away with. So through my fiction, I do my little part and rip them apart as best I can.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to do it. Like, it's the write what you know, but it's not necessarily write what you've done. It's write what the world has thrown at you, good and bad, whether you're reading it in a book, you're watching it on television, you're seeing it in person, whatever. And then those things, as writers, our brains are always on. You're walking around the store and you're looking at characters. You're listening, sitting at dinner. I don't know how many times my wife is like, "Are you even here?" And I'm like, "These people are fighting in the."
Or I'm writing. Yes.
Us, Yeah. So and like this is a scene for another book coming up, kind of thing.
Easy. I'm always writing in my head, even if I'm, not writing, right? I think writers do that.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, as a writer, you're always doing it. Your brain is always going. And again, every person you meet is a potential person that might be in that next book, either as someone who gets killed, or someone who's going to be part of the team, whatever.
Right. A few books I put out some feelers there if anybody wants to be killed by Bishop Rider, and I think over the course of what have I written, 7 books, I've probably killed about 60 people that have wanted to be killed.
which is always fun. I have a couple of ex-wives I've killed many times. I'm good. Is there, in your mind, an end in sight for the series, or is it I'm going to write it until I don't want to write this anymore?
Is there an end to the series? I don't think that. Yeah, there is. There doesn't have to be, though, right? But so I've said, 5 books. My first 5 books are strictly, the first 3 books are collections with Bishop Rider stories peppered in, and then book 4 and 5, Brand New Dark and Old Man Rider, are strictly Bishop Rider books. But when Jeremiah Abram took over in the Abram Files, and then this year's Like-Minded Individuals, I did have an end date. I just don't want. I try and keep it in real time, all my books. So I have my next book coming out is Long Past Gone, followed by One Last Ride. So that'll be 4 books with Jeremiah at the helm. and I leave it open ended. Like the series can continue, but I'm done with Bishop Rider's voice and Jeremiah Abrams' voice. It would be
Right.
someone else taking over, another character, if I decide to go back. But as of right now, there's no plans to.
Right. But you're setting everything in the same world, which is great. It
Yep.
makes it easy for you to step up. I don't know how many times I've written things and I've had some minor little throwaway character I thought, and then all of a sudden this is the character everybody wants to read. I've done so many spin-offs, from that.
Mm-hmm. I have a little piggyback on that. Jeremiah Abram, I created him because I chopped off the bottom part of Bishop Rider's right leg, and I needed someone to save him. So I created this character, Jeremiah Abram, who was a throwaway line in my first book, that the big bad that killed Bishop Rider's mother and sister had a son, and that was it. And now I'm writing him full time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love Bishop Rider's voice, but I love Jeremiah Abrams' voice a little bit better, just because he's a little more cocky and he feels he's the good guy. Like Bishop, I always struggled with. He knows he's a murderer. He knows it's wrong, but he's gonna fucking do it anyways. Jeremiah Abrams, like, these guys need to die. I'm the good guy, and I love the difference between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a writer, I'm sure that's refreshing to be able to write two very different characters in the same world telling the same basic, that story, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Like Jeremiah's always been telling Bishop, you have to change the narrative. We have to go bigger. And Bishop just wanted to keep doing what he's doing in the shadows, right? Which ultimately created the legend of Bishop Rider. And then Jeremiah just takes it over. I always say Jeremiah is like a Bruce Wayne without the cowl.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So do you have a set schedule? Do you have a word count? Do you have anything like that as a writer that, okay, I need to do this on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis?
Nope, I'm a pantser, born and bred.
Yeah.
There's been 6 months I've gone without telling a story, and then I wrote a book in 3.5 months. So yeah, I never know. It's just ideas. I say writing begets writing. So sometimes I get a story idea, and then, as I said, as I write the stories out of sequence, there's got a built-in prequel or a sequel. I'm very fortunate I can go that way.
Yeah.
Now, that's mostly with Bishop Rider. As I've been writing Jeremiah Abram, it's a little more linear than Bishop Rider. So because it's living in a post-Rider world, a lot of the stuff is linear. But I do still muck around with time.
No. Which is good, because it gives you that, as a writer, gives you that freedom to write whatever you want, and you're not, I know what this next part has to be. I know what the next story has to be. I know what, and you kind of, especially as a pantser, I'm a total pantser, and an outline drives me crazy because I feel like I've told the story.
Yeah, well, I tried it once. I'll never try it again. Yeah. 3,000 words. I'm like, what am I doing here? And it just didn't feel right.
Right, and that's what it is. It just doesn't feel right when you're doing that, when you're out of your comfort zone of doing it. And I like that your thing is not, I got to write 1,000 words a day. I got to write on these days. You're just like, when I'm writing, and that's, then it feels normal and natural, which is nice.
I agree. Yeah. So another thing, like I broke my collarbone when I was 44, and I had written my first book, and I was writing my second book, but I just, I'm sitting in a chair for 10 weeks, hearing myself getting fatter, but I want to write, but I can't really write because I got this sling and this collarbone broken. So I started writing on my phone. So for the last 7.5 books I've written on a phone.
Wow.
It's so weird when people find out that I write it on a phone. I transfer it to my computer and edit on there, but I got it. It feels wrong to write it on a computer now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So is it written, or is it more like, okay, I'm just typing and then I'll send it over and I'll edit it? And
no, I edit on my phone too. I'll write it. I give about all total. I always say it's a minimum of 12 passes. Like writing, 90% of writing is rewriting, right? I'll get it down, and then I'm one of the guys too. Like I'll write it, and then if I stop in the middle and I come back, I will go from the beginning, re-edit, and then get to the part that I stopped at. Some people don't do that, and that's fine. Whatever works for you, right? But that works best for me.
Right, exactly. I'm a first draft, no edit. I just got to throw the story down and get it on paper until I hit from page 1 to the last page, and then I'm like, okay, now we can start really working this story.
Sure, yeah. And it can, yeah, and it changes sometimes. Like if I sometimes you get your life gets in the way, right? And it's been 5 days since I've been starting the story and I'm chomping at the bit to get back to it, but sometimes you just can't. And then
Right.
I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let's go in this direction. And those are the happy accidents I like too.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you do need a break. I write on multiple projects at once. So it's good if I'm a day or two I'm not working on something and an idea will hit and I'll say, all right, let me rush back to this. Let me fit this in. Where does this scene go, or where does this conversation or whatever go? And I like
Mhm.
that. I like because there's no writer's block.
Yeah.
There's no I haven't written in 2 weeks because I can't think of anything.
Yeah. There was
Yeah,
one time where like I said, I think I mentioned that there was one time I haven't written in 6 months. And the first time that happened to me, I'm like, well, it's over. It happened after my first book, but then now I look at it as recharging time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you reading a lot during that time, or you reading other people's work?
Oh yeah, I read about 40 books a year. Like we have a boat cruise business, so we run from May till October, and I just don't get as much reading time when the business is on. But
Right.
I've already read, like before the business started, I think it was at book 23. So when the business is over, and then that's how it usually ends up, about 40 books a year. I know some people do 100 books a year. I'm like, I don't know how you find the time, but I wish I could.
Yeah, I think 82 was my most in one year, but it was a
Mhm.
lot of shorter. There's a lot of horror books,
Yeah.
which are usually 40 to 50,000 word, knocking those off. But then I realized that a lot of that time, instead of me laying on the couch all day, reading books, maybe I should, I don't know, sit my ass down and write my own book, and then so I read it. I'll read at night. I got to read every night, but
Yeah. I go to
it
bed
might,
about a couple hours before my wife, and I read for about an hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
That same. I mean, that hour might be 5 minutes, and I'm falling asleep, or it might be 2 hours, and she's coming to bed. And what are you still up? And I'm like, well, this is pretty
I'm
good.
reading this good book. Yeah.
This is a good book.
Yeah.
So, do you do a lot of conferences, a lot of events?
No, I do not. I went to my first Boucher Con was in 2017 because it was in Toronto. So, but then I used to go on this golf trip with my uncles, and then COVID sort of put a kibosh on that. So I talked to my wife, and I'm like, what if the golf trip turns into like this Boucher Con? And that's how I started going to it. I think 2 years ago, and then last year, where was it last year? Nashville,
Nashville, yeah,
yeah, and San Diego the year before.
right.
So I've been to the last two, and I'm going to go to New Orleans.
Last year was my first
Mhm.
Nashville, and then I'm very excited for New Orleans. We're definitely going to that again.
Well, we'll have a drink for sure.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I will probably not go to Calgary the year after, though.
I think I'll go to Calgary. I
Yeah.
can just walk there. I'm just kidding.
I mean, for me, coming from Florida, that's a bit of a drive.
I would agree. Yes.
The good part for us is we'll leave the day before to New Orleans, and we'll go to Biloxi. And my wife likes to play the slots, so we'll get a free comp room and a free comped buffet, and we'll stay in Biloxi for the night, and then it's an hour and a half to New Orleans the next day, which would be nice.
Nice. Sounds like a plan.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again, running
Yeah.
around like a lunatic, taking
Yeah.
pictures with
Well,
me.
I don't think I'll bring mustaches this year, but maybe we'll try something else. Yeah.
Very cool. So I see all over the place chainsaw noir. Explain to people what that is.
Well, I chop up rapists and pedophiles. So it's just, I can't even take credit for it. It was, I think Paul J. Garth or Todd Robinson, one of them came up with it when they blurbed my sixth book, The Abram Files, Chainsaw Noir. So I took it and I've run with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you always got a lot of good posts with it, a lot of videos. I've been watching your videos, your latest videos the last couple of days.
Oh, you're one of the 14 people that watched them. Thank you.
That's me. Well, hopefully those other 13 people will watch this interview when it goes live too.
No, that would be nice. Yes. Yeah. My sons helped me with some of my videos, so I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah. The humor their old man anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my youngest, she has to help me with just the basic stuff. How do I do this? Just shut up, Dad, and get at it. Let me just do it for you.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Well, my editing software, I had trial and error the first couple of years. I'm like, man, and then I got it pretty good now. But at the beginning, I remember struggling. Yes.
Yeah, and it's all these new things that we have to learn. The creative part is the easy part, right? Writing the book, that's nothing.
Yeah.
It's the rest of it. It's actually getting eyes on your book. It's actually getting that first 1,000 readers. It's the promotion. It's all the what am I doing with my hours every day?
Yeah. I would love it if my publisher would put in some promotion, but it seems it's not their forte. Now, I must say, I just came out with a new audiobook from Leonardo Audio, and they contacted me because they have a PR. And I'm like, what? What is this? Someone's going to help me promote my books. So that's been wonderful. I've never had help like this before.
Oh, nice.
I shouldn't say that. There's a couple of Instagrammers out there who have always helped me, and I appreciate them too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part that nobody really understands. I have a friend of a friend, and they were here one time, and he's a police officer, and he's like, you know what? When I retire, I'm gonna write a book. I said, oh, that's pretty good. I said, when I'm done writing books, I'm gonna become a police officer. And he looked at me weird. I said, well, it's just the same what you're saying. You think you can step out of your career and then just step into mine? Like, this is so easy, and I'm making millions of dollars by just throwing some book. Oh, I just put a new book on Amazon. Hey, just made $10 billion on it.
Yeah.
Without,
or some people,
doing anything.
They want to do the 50-50 split. I have the idea, you write it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That drives my wife insane. We go to book signings, and we do an over under depending on the event, and over like, all right, 3. There's at least 3 people that are going to come up to the table over and under. Which are you picking? That I have this great idea, and you're gonna write it, and then we're gonna make billions of dollars.
Yes.
And I always say, I have a million ideas in my head I will never be able to write. I said, you know what I need? I need somebody who types faster than me. That's what I need. Otherwise I'm good.
Good.
All right, so I got a couple last questions for you.
Sure.
So for you as a thriller author, what were some of the writer inspirations, for you growing up?
Well, growing up, I say I didn't find my voice until crime fiction, because I grew up with Stephen King and Dean Koontz and John Saul. And when I, wanted to become a writer, Misery was the first book I read when I was 15. But it was always like Monster of the Week, time travel, all that stuff. But it wasn't until I found, have you ever heard of Matthew C. Funk? So he writes these short stories, and I found Shotgun Honey, and his voice just amazed me. And that's what turned me on to crime fiction. And then Bishop Rider came from that. And that's how I found my voice. So I always have to give credit to Matthew C. Funk for putting me on this road too. Right. He has no idea who I am, but anyways, he helped me.
Regardless,
yes,
it's still out there. So now you're out there, you're all over the place. What are some of the other thriller authors that maybe people don't know about that people should know about?
I have a lot. Like Rob D. Smith, he just came out with his Good Looking Ugly, good book that you should probably pick up. And Nick Kolakowski, I think, should get some some more love. And there's other friends like that I want to mention, but some bigger names like Cosby. But I don't think he needs me to promote him. I think he's doing fine.
I don't think Sean needs us to promote him.
And I really like this guy right here, Blake Crouch. But I don't think he needs my help either. But I just want to. This is my favorite book by his, and it's like End of the World. And a backdoor love story. It's got all the components that I really enjoyed, and I like to pump that book too. So, and then this one, Laura McHugh. I don't think she needs my help either, but anyways, this was a great book too.
Yeah, I got that on my TBR.
Yeah.
Well, it was awesome talking to you.
You too. Yeah.
I will definitely. I will definitely get that drink with you when we go to. When we go to New Orleans. I know I think Thursday night they're doing the Noir at the Bar event.
I'll be there.
So I will definitely be, definitely be there checking that out too. So we will have to grab a drink while we're there and hang out.
Sounds good. Maybe we'll take a picture.
Huh?
Maybe we'll take a picture.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Beau. I will talk to you later.
Okay, Armand. Thanks again. Bye-bye.